Welcome back to 1876 Sports and Culture Podcast, a show focused on highlighting the illustrious Prairie View A&M University, the HBCU of Texas, by promoting SWAC and the HBCU experience, featuring your fellow PV Panthers, Roland Austin, Jay Cleasy, Big Mike Washington, three-time SWAC champ Gati Werema, former drum major HBCU band historian Shawnetta Haskell, and Al Williams, driving the show from the Hill. Please subscribe and follow us on social media at 1876 SCP. And don't forget, we do it for the culture.
And welcome to the 1876 Sports and Culture Podcast. If I can speak English anymore, we have been gone, but we back with you after a 2-year hiatus. So what's been going on, folks? Where y'all been, man?
It's been 2 years?
Good
It's
Lord.
been 2 years.
We said we was just gonna act like we ain't been nowhere.
Yeah.
It's almost 3. Wasn't it 2020? No, it was 2024.
I think it's about a
Yeah, 2 years. No, not years. Years.
Yes.
Yeah. Either way, a couple of graduation classes done passed through us, so you know. Hey.
Yeah, we done had babies graduate in high school and get to college and then graduate college.
Exactly. Life be lifing, but we are happy to be back. And as you can see behind Joe, we've got some new branding coming at you with the 1876 Sports and Culture Podcast, the podcast for Prairie View A&M University. We got to give a shout out to those who have filled the void while we've been away. Shout out to PV versus everybody. I'm a subscriber.
Yes.
Listener.
He's
all of that. Commenter.
Thank you, Sean, for filling the void.
Hey, man, I took the red pill in the Matrix. But it's been a long time since all 6 of us has been on a show.
Man.
So it's good to be back and have everybody on.
Yes, indeed.
Definitely.
It's been a bunch of every time we went on an away game or something like that, I always run into people in the airport at a tailgate saying, where y'all at? When 1876 gonna come back and do another show?
Right, same.
You know, I will say, man, that's a testament to the culture, and it's a testament to what we have brought to the culture. And so here we go, back again.
Yes, definitely.
Back again. All right. So let's just get this out of the way so we can talk about some spring sports. We got to circle back to football. So we had a great time in Atlanta, but I can remember it was probably this time last year, and Coach Jackson said some things are going to change. We got different expectations. I'm feeling that.
Definitely.
Listen, it had me on the house.
It was the most exciting football season we've had in my existence with Prairie View A&M University, even more exciting than the 2009 season. Because the 2009 season, we didn't see that coming. That just happened towards the end of the year where things just happened to roll that way. This season, it was excitement from the beginning to end.
I agree.
Non-stop.
I mean, to go on the road to win the SWAC.
Yes.
And then turn around that next week with no reservations to end up in Atlanta. I mean,
Atlanta.
Hey, a lot of pharmaceuticals were required to have the energy level to do that back to back. Not to mention the last home game was the week before where we did a tailgate and was up all night. So it was a 3-week turnaround. That was crazy.
Pharmaceuticals, you mean sales of pharmaceuticals to pay for the back-to-back trips.
I definitely want to, shout out to those that traveled, right? Because since we've been gone, there's this new PV12, right?
Yes.
As far as our fans don't show up, and we have a long way to go, but I don't want to negate what we were able to do. I thought we had a decent showing in Mississippi. We had a decent showing in Atlanta, and we can sit here and talk about, it was only South Carolina State. Well, you're 2 hours away, so good for you. But I mean, let's just. I'm looking at the positives, right? This obsession, and again, let me be very clear. I want us to fill the stands. I want us to have a packed house. But this constant bragging on numbers, you're sounding like Trump, honestly.
Well, here's the deal.
Shots fired.
Shots on the flow. Here's the deal. John Grant, executive director, Celebration Bowl, admittedly was surprised. Not number one, not only at the presence of Prairie View because they look at those numbers of butts in the seats, but the showing on TV of that game, right? There was no comparison. I
Two
think there was. I think there. I forget the numbers, but there was no other bowl game that was even within 25% of the viewership of the Celebration Bowl. This particular Celebration Bowl. So don't miss me with that. Prairie View didn't bring a crowd. Miss me with that. That this game, this bowl game, didn't have a presence. Miss me with that. All of that.
Right,
We
right.
had
And again, we
2.3 million views, which was the
Yes.
most of any bowl game that entire week,
Yep.
which were all BS games. We had 2.3 million views. So what that tells me is, yes, we may not have bought the bodies from Texas, but we bought the eyeballs from the entire state of Texas. Not just PV alone, but the entire state of Texas was apparently viewing that game.
The
Well,
internet was lit up too about that game. Before we move on, I definitely want to. Shanetta, you brought something up. The PV12. Do we know where that originated from? No. So just a little spite of history here. So SWAC, what is it? Roughing the SWAC has been going crazy with PV and they 12 fans. And that has become a moniker all throughout, social media and all of the banter chat groups that's out there. So I love how we took lemons and made lemonade out of it, took what you thought was meant for something to jug at us, and we turned it back around and flipped it on it. So shout out to the PV12 for taking those 12 fans and showing what 12 fans can do.
right.
We done
All
took 2
good.
loaves of bread and 2 fish now. That's what we doing.
Oh, we going like that? We going
That's how we
Matthew.
rolling.
We
That's
going
how we rolling, baby.
Matthew chapter
All
5. Is that what we're doing?
all I got to say, man, is look, it ain't cheap. You got to grow into this. Jackson State was used to making those trips. They had budgeted at the beginning of the year to go to the SWAC championship and then to go to Atlanta. This our first show. It wasn't in the budget.
It was not
I
in the
spent my
budget,
Cabo money in Atlanta.
We're
So
still in
it's
Cabo.
one less Cabo trip this year because Atlanta wasn't cheap.
Okay.
That plane ticket was $700.
Oh,
Room was $350 a night. The
whew.
Ubers were $120 to go from the hotel to the stadium.
I
That
had
We ain't got
Uber
no
Uber
one
was
food
night.
there.
ridiculous.
So I think I spent a good $2,300 on a
Yeah.
week's notice. How
Yep.
many fans in this economy can do that?
Exactly.
Now that we got some expectation, yeah, there have been some restricted funds set aside
Yes.
for
Exactly.
2026.
There
Yes.
we
So
go.
we'll be ready.
Yes.
But it's not our fault if, we just showed up on the cool, man.
But the funny thing is, right? It's like as much as we need our fans to be there, the football team didn't need the fans. They got there anyway.
Yeah.
They got there. And,
Minus
and,
the
But I
fault.
want to be clear. Let's go to the game. That's not what I'm saying. My
Minus
point
the
is,
fault.
I'm just saying that let's support the team. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
exactly.
do my best. I mean, I'm coming from Dallas. Definitely gonna try and make more games. I am a season ticket holder, but what I have to do next year is be intentional about when I can't make the game to make sure that I have someone in my seat.
There we
Exactly.
go. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. I want to shift gears here because it is spring. Gatti, let's talk some basketball. I feel like it's been a roller coaster, but what do you see?
Yes, well, I see a lot. I mean, as far as on the women's side, we have a new head coach in Coach Ty Diller. And so whenever you have a change in leadership like that, you have to be fair and allow this program to really develop as far as the players adjusting to the coaching style. But, the team has had a pretty rocky start. But even in the losses, this team has showed real fight. They've never stopped competing, and that says a lot about the culture that's being built. Preseason oftentimes is pretty difficult to get a handle on. So right now, the team is 2-13 and hasn't won a game in conference play, but is all the games in conference play has been really, really close. We have some standout players in Crystal Schultz, who's averaging about 16 points a game. CJ Wilson, 5'9" sophomore from Atlanta, Georgia. Crystal Schultz is actually from Houston, Texas. There's a lot of local kids this year, but CJ Wilson, she's averaging about 15 points. So, and the good thing is this year we have some good height. We have a 6'6", 6'3". I think 2 6'3s is just really getting them to click on all cylinders. I mean, the competition is not getting any easier. So these ladies are just really going to have to buckle down and do what they can to turn the program around.
So let me ask you this, because basketball is kind of a unique situation where the regular season, you can win the regular season and then go out early in the SWAC tournament and pretty much you done. So do you think the strategy is let's peak in the SWAC tournament, or is it really important to kind of get a good seed coming out of the regular season? What's your thought?
You definitely want to get a good seed just to establish some momentum going in. But the main thing is to make sure that you do get into the tournament. I mean, having an upset is definitely, if you do get a lower seed, is what we'll be looking for. But there is still some time at least to make it towards the middle of the pack. So really just establishing yourself in conference play is really important just so that the team can get their confidence going. So by the time you get to the second half of conference play, although teams see your record, it's hard to beat a team two times. So, having that momentum and confidence going to the second half of conference really makes a difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And go ahead, Mike. I see you were going to say something.
Yeah, so you know that the first 10, 11, 12 games are out of conference games, and so sometimes you kind of look at those like, all right, and then you kind of try to compare the teams, and you got Crystal Schultz and TJ Wilson. One's also you mentioned they're leading the league in scoring. One's leading the league in rebounding. One's leading the league in 3-point percentage. Once they get firmly into, I guess, the conference schedule, do you see some improvement, or do they have really the depth in this Prairie View squad, from what you've seen thus far to really make some ground?
Yeah, I definitely see a lot of space for improvement. I mean, they had a really tough preseason schedule playing teams like University of Texas, Oklahoma State,
Yep.
UTEP, Tulsa. So often Texas A&M. So the coaches typically put these type of teams on the schedule so that you can really challenge yourself and be prepared in the come conference play. But I do see different bright spots that shows, okay, this team has a lot of talent. The coaches are doing a great job preparing the teams as far as game plan, being solid in execution, but just having to really get over that hump will be the biggest thing, you know?
Yep. Yeah.
Yes. And then on the men's side, the men's are side is a little different. They have a lot of upperclassmen, graduate players who are having some really great games. Right now, they're coming in. They've only played 2 conference games, but they're 7-9 right now. So that's really great. That's a better record than they've had going into the conference season in a while. And just some of the players that have been highlighted, Tyrion Joseph averaging about 23 points per game. He's a,
TJ.
yeah, he's a 6'3"
Exactly.
grad student from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Corey Wells, averaging 13.3 points. He's from Murphy, Texas, 6'7". And the men's team is really big. I think there's only one player under 6 feet, and he's 5'11". But, our tallest player goes to 6'9", 6'7", 6'6". So we have the height, and I think that has been giving us oh wow. Yeah.
I have a 10-year-old. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Yeah.
That has definitely been giving us an advantage in the preseason to have that experience plus height. Now you have the time. You've had that time in college to get used to playing with your body and your size. It's like men among boys, and that's typically the type of play that you see with upperclassmen players anyway. But yeah, Dante Horn averaging double figures, 13.3, and then Lance Williams, he's averaging 8.6, but also shooting about 44% from the three. So a lot of efficient players, and this is just the beginning of the conference season. So I'm really excited to see how they pull out.
And here's the one other thing, going back to your point. You got University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, Bethune-Cookman leading the conference right now in basketball. But if you look at their schedule, the first 10, 11 games, again, let's say before King Holiday, they playing teams like UIC, Miami, Ohio, all. Whereas Prairie View is playing, they're playing Oklahoma State. I mean, so you got to look at the strength of schedule. So I really think you have to judge that first 15 games on strength of schedule, and then look at, because Prairie View's the men's version. They're the leading scorer. They're leading the league, and they're leading the SWAC in scoring. So to your point, Gatti,
How do you explain the inconsistency in playing according to your level of play? So, like, for instance, we played, I believe it was Arizona, correct me if I'm wrong. We played a Power 5, Power 4 school really, really tough. Might have been LSU. And then we turn around and play Mississippi Valley State and only beat them by 1 point the other night. How do you explain that inconsistent play?
Valley.
Yeah, we talk about Valley.
I mean, I think all the conference games have been for the men's side within like less than 5 points, win or loss. So I'm not sure there's technically a way to explain that. I know that when you come against these larger schools, you have a chip on your shoulder. I saw the LSU game, lost by 14 points. It was an incredible game. And come conference time, I don't know if it's fatigue, if it's just, a different being on the road, because the men's team is undefeated at home. But whatever it is, this is the time of the season where you start to identify that as a program and start to really address those things in practice and film so that you can have that consistency. So as other teams look at you and they see how well you did in preseason, and they see that you're the leading scorers and they're bringing their best game when they come and play you, that you're able to, step up and also bring your best game against everyone in the conference. And actually, I think that's what it is. The team see that, okay, this is the team that's leading the conference in scoring. They've had these big preseason games. This is the team that I'm about to, come out here and shine on, as opposed to maybe someone who doesn't have such a great record. But you got to be ready for that. You got to be ready for that target that's on your back.
We still talking Valley. Valley is lost.
Valley.
We still talking Valley.
Yes.
We talking Valley. They done lost 15 in a row.
They only had one win on the season, and they come to the Baby Dome and only lose by 1 point.
Dude, those boys were hooping last night. I'm sorry, they were hooping last night.
Yeah.
They had a dent in their chest last night. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So before we walk away from basketball, let me ask this: do I need some allocated funds for that play-in game or that first round of the NCAA tournament this year, either on the men's or the women's side?
Look, it's still to be told about the women's side, but for the men, you might need to. You might need to, bring go into that other Cabo account and that to the side. But
he got about 3 Cabo accounts. He talking about he missed out.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing. Everybody ain't able. But
Hey,
Some of us got to check it at the savings. You take 3 days for it to go.
yeah.
No lie. When we were getting back from Atlanta, American Airlines, they give you the spiel about if you want the credit card to get points. I went ahead and raised my hand. Go ahead.
So
it's
gonna be one of those years.
Shadetta.
Yeah.
Hey, Shadetta,
Go ahead and let me have one of those.
You got to start using that lounge access. That lounge
Yes.
access changed the game. I can't fly Gen Pop no
Yes.
more. If I
I've
can't
been
go
on
to the
United
lounge, I'm
credit
not going.
card for 5 years.
But I will say this about the men's basketball team in closing. They should use that game versus Valley as a cautionary tale because maybe they were looking at Valley's record and thinking that it was going to be a walk in the park and almost got walked down at home. So, this is the time to make those adjustments and go ahead and put your best foot forward, best game forward each and every day, one game at a time. But I'm glad that they pulled it out and, defended home court because that would have been, a little bit embarrassing. But
Yeah.
came out on top. So a win is a win.
There it is. There it is. Okay. So now I want to shift gears. Let's talk. We got MLK holiday coming up, and we know that PV is going to be in that MLK Unity Parade. How about the fact that we got a Unity Parade?
Exactly.
Yeah, because the city of
That
Houston been
point.
on one. Everybody want their own parade.
For the life of me, I never understood that. Coming from
I never
Alabama, I'm sorry, that
understood.
just made no
I
sense
never
whatsoever.
understood how the city of Houston can have 3 different parades on MLK, and everybody got a reason why theirs should be the most unique. So
Because
now
you
we got
got
a unity.
you got
Yay.
Northside Negroes, you got Southside Negroes, you got suburban Negroes, and you got inner city Negroes who all want to do their own thing. Then you got the pub the Negroes who want to run for office and all of this stuff, and can't nobody get along because everybody is in different tax brackets. Everybody grew up doing different things and different traditions. And I don't know who pulled this all together, but I'm just glad they did because every year I'm confused about what parade should I go to.
Hey, man, I thought it
Exactly.
was
Am I
just
making a
traffic
political
patterns or
statement
something.
by supporting one parade over the other?
Like, oh, now, so we said all that to say that Prairie View will be I think it looks like the featured band for the Unity Parade. I'm sure there'll be a couple of others. I see a couple of high school bands lined up. They asking folks to bring their cars and line up, and folks not to throw candy in your eyes. But I'm glad that Prairie View is
Wait, this
one
gonna
of
be like
the
Mardi
featured
Gras?
bands.
Yeah, they
Oh,
throw stuff?
they sent out email. If you're one of the chapters, either fraternity or sorority, they came out with a mandate that they had issues with people throwing candy and get hit in the eye. So
Oh,
yes, so you have to hand it out or throw it at feet. This was an email. So anyway,
Hey, man,
cool.
this is Texas, bro. You don't be throwing stuff at people in Texas, man. That might not end well. I'm just saying.
Look, Joe,
That's
you
gonna
from
be
New Orleans,
dangerous.
the moon pies come in about 40 miles an hour, baby.
Hey,
I was about to say, they let somebody from New Orleans on the committee. Because why is we
that's what
throwing
happened.
candy? Why are we throwing beads and
That's what
whatnot at the
happened.
MLK parade?
man,
I'm confused.
Jolly Ranchers.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
What
Katrina
you want 'em to
migration
throw,
done
Joe?
has infiltrated into the parade culture in Houston.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And here's the thing: there were a couple of lawsuits of people getting hit in the face or the eye because people throwing candy
Oh,
at
that's
the
just too
MLK Day
much.
parade.
It's
That's
too much,
too
man.
much.
It's too much. I
Lawsuits.
can't. See,
Man, because you can't catch.
right. D-line. It ain't my fault you D-line.
Come on, man. Really?
You can't catch them
You didn't
Tootsie
see an
Rolls?
old big bag of candy coming at you.
All right. Speaking of big money, the SWAC. Let's talk about this revenue.
Yes. Dr. McClellan, I forgot what conference he was at, but he gave a whole speech about the finances of the SWAC. And when you compare it to in comparison to other FCS conferences, and he said the SWAC's revenue for 2020, was it 2024, I believe, was 25 million plus.
Yep.
And then the revenue sharing to all these SWAC conference schools was 15 million, which represented 62% of the revenue is being shared with other SWAC schools, which is the highest among all FBS conferences. That's incredible. And nobody saw that coming.
Message,
Yeah.
Tennessee State.
Man.
With
Well-
that, I would like to commend him. Those of us that are, again, not can go to the game. So SWAC TV. And
Yes.
so
Yes.
it was a little rocky the first time I tried to
Labor
watch
Day
the Labor
Classic.
Day Classic, man. But but I have definitely enjoyed, and again, it only gets better from here. But to me,
Like
that was
Yeah,
a major,
and
major
what
change.
I
close to
think
1 million viewers, consistent
mhm.
viewers.
So the
That in
SWAC
the
TV,
first
go
year, consistent 1 million viewers. That's awesome. And there were,
and
that folks were skeptical. There were quality issues up front, but 1 million viewers. That's awesome.
if I'm not mistaken, that outpaced all viewership on the ESPN platforms for SWAC content.
Yes.
Yes.
So it was free this year. We had maybe 3 different commercials that ran, consistently. I think it was Academy Sports, um, who was the other one? I don't wanna leave him out. Was it Home Depot?
Maybe
Yeah,
so.
the tool, the
Yeah.
school.
Yeah, Tool the
Mhm.
School, but I got a feeling next year,
Yep.
y'all better get the rookie card now, cause after
Yeah.
today, it ain't going down. The
Yesterday's
price
price.
today ain't gonna be the price yesterday.
No, sir.
So,
Exactly.
if you can deliver that demographic in those numbers, advertisers are gonna show up. So I only see that revenue, growing because he had the foresight to come out with it first and say, "Watch this." He pulled a Usher on him and said, "Watch this." So since they didn't get in on the ground floor, man, it's going to get much better. And Dr. McClellan said probably 3 years ago he had a strategic plan to transition the SWAC from FCS to FBS. And with this kind of revenue growth, you can kind of see that happening.
What does this mean for schools like Mississippi Valley and Bethune-Cookman who really need those resources to build up their programs, build up their infrastructure to get it to a level of potential FBS growth?
I think it's huge because you don't have to tap into your allocated funds from the state. Now, of course, Bethune-Cookman is private, so they don't have state funds, but uh, for Mississippi Valley, they can pull those monies because they're not getting their fair share of revenue from the state of Mississippi. But this helps them to build that infrastructure, uh, have fully funded scholarship programs where they can bring kids in from out of state and out of country to fill those rosters in all those different sports. So it's nothing but good things. But what this does do, if I'm a president in the SWAC, am I open to expansion? Because unless you are bringing something to the table to add to the numerator, I'm
Yes.
not adding anything to that denominator.
And
Yeah.
we also spoke already and always speak about how foolish Tennessee State is for not joining the SWAC or not advocating to join the SWAC. But when you talk about bringing something to the table, those Atlanta schools, like a Clark
As I
Dazzling.
say,
Atlanta,
if you bring Tennessee State, you remember you got to come in too. So who's the other state? Who's the other school? Is it Clark Atlanta? A lot of proponents of Clark Atlanta. Is it a school in Alabama? Some folks say maybe Tuskegee or another school. Who's the other school that's going to come with Tennessee State? That's the question, the additional question that you got to answer if you bring Tennessee State in.
But Mike, that's only if you maintain the current structure of the East and the West.
Yeah.
Now, there was a lot of talk this year, and mostly from Bama State, about getting rid of the East West and having the championship played between the teams with the best records. If you
a
did
la
that, you don't have to come in with twos.
yep, a
You
la
can
Yeah.
bring a school
SEC.
in individually, but that comes with other problems.
Yeah, and so that's the format that SEC currently follows, amongst some other conferences where they just play a round robin schedule. Everybody plays everybody. You don't have to go 4 to 6 years without seeing a Jackson State or seeing a FAMU. And so I'm actually a proponent of that system because I hate the fact that we have to go years without seeing or visiting another school or playing another school.
But
Yeah.
isn't that's when you have the strength of schedule comes into play more so than the way we have it now currently within this
Yeah,
current
I think the
situation?
tiebreakers get a lot more complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
strength of schedule is a concern when you're talking about your second place team or third place team being available for the the playoff system.
Okay.
I think the SWAC, first and foremost, we're concerned about the SWAC. We're concerned about the two best teams playing in the SWAC championship game. And if we can get everybody in a SWAC across the board strong, then your strength of schedule takes care of itself. And that third place team who doesn't play in the SWAC championship game has a decent strength of schedule. And they could possibly qualify for the consideration for the playoff system.
Hold on, Tonto. If it's that way, hold on, Tonto.
Hold
If
on
it's
now.
that way,
Say, whoa there now, Dilly.
who are the two best teams in the SWAC this year? Alabama State beats Prairie View, right? Jackson State loses to Grambling. Really, the two best teams by rankings and by schedule, you could argue, are Jackson State and Alabama State. Prairie View does not get a shot. That's where the opponents go to that schedule or that type of schedule.
There is no system that will satisfy everyone every year.
Hey,
Right.
all I know is it took us 10 to get in. And if we win in 10 and we can't get in, I got a big problem. I say leave it as is. And Tennessee State, if you want to come, we got to come with a check with 2 commas if you want to join us.
You got to bring a check and a
It ain't free no more. It ain't free.
It ain't free.
And
and here's the deal.
It was free before 9, but you paying them midnight prices now, bruh.
Yeah.
Are they looking to move?
They got to bring plus
I
one.
have them
Their
in
fans
college.
are.
Their
Their
I'll
fans
tell
are
you this.
looking to move.
My youngest baby goes to Tennessee State. They don't go to the games, one, multiple reasons. One is because it's off campus. 2, it's $40 to park. 3, they have no interest in seeing the schools that they play.
Right.
None. Every one of our games, it's like a big family reunion. It's our country cousins on the other side of the field.
Yep.
It ain't their cousins on the other side of the field when
No.
Tennessee State play. They got no
Same,
interest.
you hear the same thing from North Carolina A&T fans. They don't want to play Elon and Philip Morris.
No interest.
So, all right, well, y'all, it's time for us to wrap it up. It's been great for this first episode back. I think this is season 7, episode 1. We are only going to do an episode a month. So don't look for us weekly, look for us monthly. So life is still lifing. So we will see you guys next month in February, and we'll have some more to talk about. I'm sure we'll be deep into that SWAC schedule for basketball, getting ready for that SWAC tournament. So with that, deuces.
National Signing Day loading, baby.